Sport and the outdoors are an integral part of life in New Zealand. Activities such as school or club-based cricket, rugby or netball, badminton and ping pong are encouraged for every student. Fishing, diving, skiing, yachting or golfing are also within easy reach. New Zealand's largest cities have the same wide variety of entertainment as any other major international urban centre, and every week in Auckland, some major international band or performer is usually in town. Housing in New Zealand ranges from multi-million-dollar waterfront mansions and penthouses to lifestyle blocks. With 85% of New Zealanders being urban dwellers, they tend to live in detached, freestanding houses, typically 180 to 220 square metres in size, with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, living areas and kitchen, as well as standard suburban family homes and city apartments. Auckland house prices in recent years have appreciated strongly and are usually significantly more expensive than other areas. In cities like Auckland, apartment living is increasingly popular, and outside of the major cities, lifestyle blocks and farms are first choice. In New Zealand, employees' rights are rigorously protected. Everyone enjoys 4 weeks of annual leave, an additional 11 annual statutory holidays, a minimum adult wage, and income top-ups for the lowest earners. Paid maternity or paternity leave is available to all workers for a limited time following the birth of a baby. Thereafter, additional maternity or paternity leave can be taken as unpaid leave, with that job being held open for the balance of 12 months as law. Getting employment should not be taken for granted, but work in New Zealand is a matter of when, not if, for those with an English-speaking background. With unemployment and interest rates low, New Zealand has had acute skills shortages across a range of sectors for many years, reflecting a mismatch between the jobs being created and the availability of locals to fill those positions. Work-life balance is taken very seriously in New Zealand, and New Zealanders are relaxed, good-time people who generally leave work behind at the office at 5 p.m. In terms of tax and capital, there are no controls limiting the flow of capital in and out of the country, and tax rates are not high by international standards. The country's taxpayer-funded education and healthcare systems offer the kind of security many in the modern world could only dream of, and New Zealanders pride themselves on the high standard of both. The health system is a mix of private and public sector providers, with the public system dominating, ensuring private medical costs remain much less than they are in similar countries. Medical insurance is not mandatory, but increasingly, Kiwi families have some form of hospital or surgery cover to avoid potential waiting lists for non-life-threatening conditions. New Zealanders see healthcare as a right, and the public health system continues to deliver a high level of service which is the envy of many countries. As with health and social security, taxpayer-funded education is viewed by New Zealanders as a fundamental right. Preschool and childcare centres are widely available, and eligible parents receive 20 hours of free childcare per week for children aged 3 to 5 inclusive. Most children attend free state schools, with fees-based private schools an alternative. Statistically, 97% of children attend their local state primary school and 95% attend their local state high school. School is compulsory between the ages of 6 and 16, and there is a great emphasis at primary school on creative and social development. At primary school, the basics of numeracy, literacy and personal development are taught. Core subjects at high school are English, mathematics, humanities, science, physical education, art and music. Increasingly, education is outcome-based rather than examination-based, with internal assessment at high school increasingly important. By the time most students leave high school, they will be expected to demonstrate minimum levels of literacy and numeracy through the National Certificate of Education Achievement or through the International Cambridge or International Baccalaureate exams. After 2 years at high school, students can select from a far broader range of subjects to study. More than 50% of school leavers in New Zealand move on to university, technical institutes or some other form of tertiary training. The country has 8 state universities and 25 polytechnics. While education at this level is not free, the institutions are subsidised by the state, covering about 75% of the true cost, making fees more affordable. Interest-free student loans are also available from the government. Auckland University is consistently ranked among the top 100 in the world, and the other 7 are in the top 500. While New Zealand is overwhelmingly safe as compared to most other countries, it still has crime. The difference, however, is crime in New Zealand tends to be crime against property, not people, with burglary the most common form of crime. Violent crime is uncommon, with a murder happening once every 10 days on average. 80% of murders are committed by so-called friends, family or acquaintances of the victim. In recent years, crime rates in all categories have been falling, the exception being sexual assaults, which shows rising convictions, but is explained by a greater willingness of victims to come forward. Not all New Zealanders are angels. Hard drugs do exist and are used by a small minority. There is no doubt that a link exists between crime and drug abuse. To offer some perspective, however, police in New Zealand do not carry guns, and nor is it lawful for the public to carry firearms. It is highly unlikely that you'll be a victim of crime. New Zealand children still play safely in the streets and parks without their parents worrying whether or not they'll make it home for dinner. Even in larger cities like Auckland, it is nothing to get doors and windows wide open, especially during summer.